What is ASKA like in 2025? Well, this was a question I wanted to find out, and it turns out it was a great time to do so, as ASKA is currently on sale with 40% off. A link to the Steam page is in the description, and thank you to ASKA for sponsoring this video. After waving a fond farewell to a mysterious giant, it was time to set off on my adventure. I had no idea what to expect, but gathering resources and fighting mobs seemed like the thing to do. And after killing a wolf, just barely, I thought I had a pretty good handle on this. That was until I died shortly afterwards. However, respawning full of a new hope, I decided to make a plan. This time, I needed to start my settlement quickly so that I could recruit other Vikings to help me out, and that's what I did. Now, as we embark on a new day, I think it's time for us to get into the actual settlement side of things, and this all starts here by the looks of the Eye of Odin. So I've got most of the materials I need for this. We need some large stones, so we'll have to make up some more tools as well. I don't really know where I'm supposed to put this, so I'm just going to put it down here and kind of hope for the best. And let's see. Now, we can level this out, because I do now have a hoe, so there we go, that's leveled, and we can supply all the stuff that we currently have. And what I really like is I can press Q if I need to, and then up in the top left it shows me the other stuff that we need. So for example, we need these long sticks, and I made a bit of a temporary kind of storage area for these long sticks here from the resources I was gathering. So we're going to add these, we're going to build this, and then see what we need to do next. And of course, as I say, as part of that, we will also need to build up a pickaxe, which is under the tools section here. So we got most of the stuff for this stuff. We're almost at a point where we can make it. And with all the materials added, we are now building it, and I believe this is going to be quite the progression point. So let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, we built the Eye of Odin. It attracts villagers. I think though this, and from videos I've watched, we need to put in some Jotun blood, and then that's what goes into storage. We can activate it, and that's what brings the villagers. I believe that to be the case. Now, one thing it definitely does do is if I press B and we go down to basic production, we can now start making up things in the game like the woodcutter's pit, stonecutter's pit, gatherer's pit. So basically all of the essentials in the game that we're going to need. So if I want to make a woodcutter's pit, let's start off with that. That seems like as good a thing as any. Let's just put that. And again, we're not really entirely sure where we need to put things and whatever, but I'm just kind of having fun experimenting with it. I'm just going to put that one in there like that. Then we use our hoe to level all this out, and we'll build it up just like we've done with other buildings. And then I guess I'll see what happens when that's done, and whether we get some villagers to work it and how all that goes. And just like that, we have our woodcutter's pit built. But I think now it'd be really nice to get in our first settler to come and join us and start working in this pit. Now, in order to get the villager in, we need some of this stuff here. This is a small Jotun blood shard, and if I hold R, you'll see here we can harvest that to get some Jotun blood. Now, this is just done with the stone pickaxe, but just to say before I harvest the rest of this, over here you'll see these larger ones, and you see that there does need better equipment. So you need to find the small ones at the start of the game until you get the better equipment. But in doing this, this is how we're going to get our first villager to join our town. So then we come to the Eye of Odin, and if we open the storage here, we've got the Jotun blood, so we can actually just drag that over and put it in there. And once we fill this up, then we can activate it. So let's go get a load more of that, and then we'll activate that together. Through the night, I built a few more things that we have available to us currently through the basic production. So we now have the woodcutter's pit, stonecutter's pit, and a gatherer's pit, which is pretty good. And if we go into here, yep, here we go, we can add all of this across to here, which is right click to add those very quickly. And let's activate that. And here we go. We have a couple of different villages to choose from. So this one is a blossom tender. So this is good for cultivating plants, which is interesting. And Stormforged. Okay, so they have all these different abilities. Let's see which one is like best for us. So they're both kind of interesting, but I think because this one is going to be good for better crops and stuff, that probably will help us later on. So I'm going to confirm that. And that is it. Our first villager is now going to join the village. You can see on the right hand side there, he'll be here in just under 3 minutes. And whilst we're waiting for him to do that, I will continue doing some more building. And I think for this one, we should make up a workshop pit. Because this is going to make materials and tools, which obviously all of our workers are going to need. Oh boy, this is so much bigger than I realized it was going to be. Okay, where do I want you to go? I don't even know. Let's see here. All right, so it's green if I try and place it here, so I guess we'll place it here for now. Let's pin the recipe for that as well, so that we know what we need to get. And a lot of terraforming seems to be the first thing. Okay, now if I press B, we do have this terraforming right here. So I guess what we need to do is just kind of terraform everywhere that this building is. So these little posts here mark it out, right? So I guess if I just kind of click there and then drag it, this would maybe work. Let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, so in terms of terraforming, I guess we just have to use our hoe and come over here and start leveling all of these blocks. So we'll do that first, and then we'll know the materials that we need. And obviously it's quite efficient to be doing it this way because we're waiting for the next villager to arrive anyway. All right, let's see. Apparently our first villager has turned up. Oh, here he is. Is that him over there? So we are now no longer alone. And I'm not sure what he's doing. He's just running around doing his own thing at the moment. Perhaps we need to assign him to actually do the work that we want him to do. For this, I think I'll put him in either the woodcutter or the gatherer. Yeah, let's see. If we go to the woodcutter's pit, let's press R to manage workers. And this builder right here, Jensen, of course, we can assign him. He's also homeless, so we need to sort that out for him as well. For now, though, we'll just assign him to start working in here. There we go. He's technically got a promotion. So let's come out of this. And now we just need to get him a house, I guess, and also look at his work hours and stuff. So in this tab right here, we have our settlement, and we see here the different hours that this guy is working, right? And you can actually save these different schedules and things, which is very cool, by editing them yourself. So if we click on this right here, it takes us through this. We don't need to see that, that's fine. But basically, it takes us through to here, and then we can choose different things. So you can see here, this is the hours he's sleeping. These are his leisure hours. And if we click on the leisure and we say, you know what, you can have a couple more leisure hours, and we apply that, then he's got a new schedule. So you can balance this to get their happiness and also get the productivity up and stuff like that. Now, at the moment, of course, we just have this one guy, but when we have a village full of people later, this is going to be really important to keep us very productive and to keep our villagers happy. Now, the other thing we could do, I think, is potentially assign Jensen just to live in here at the moment, right? Because we have this basic shelter that we already made. So, yep, happy with that. Let's see, let's assign you there. And I'm going to do that because he's going to be pretty happy then, right? Living in here, and he can sleep in here and stuff. We can always kick him out again if we need to sleep. But I think for now, we'll do that. And perhaps we'll look to build some more shelters, and we'll get some more people in to work these other jobs. It's going to be more of what you've already seen. So I'm going to skip on to the point when we've got people in working in all these, and when we start taking our town up to the next level. Now, I have been busy making up a few things, including this that you see here. This is a workshop here. Now, the good thing about this is it allows us to craft much better things. So, for example, this large stone axe here, we want to make this one up. Now, all I need to do is craft up a little bit more rope, so let's do that here, and then we'll have the materials for that. And this is just one of many things that we can now craft. So there we go, large stone axe, we'll craft up you. And this means that we can now get a new material. So in the top left of my screen, you'll see that what we're trying to make here is a gatherer's hut, and that does require some actual logs. So at the moment, we've only been able to get these smaller logs, but now with this better axe, we can get the larger logs. So here's our large stone axe, we've got that equipped, and now we just need to run up to one of the larger trees. You see right here, this is a fir tree, for example, as it says there, it gives logs. So we just hold R to harvest this. Now, I am aware, by the way, there is a villager who's following me around and has a bit of a request. So I'm just going to get these logs, and then we'll deal with that request after that. Okay, so we have added the logs there, and we're going to continue building this in a second and make up the gatherer's hut. But right now, we have this person, ASKA, who is in the gatherer's pit, and I actually wanted to have a look at this together. So basically, you see here, we have these different things. So the gatherer's pit, it says there, it will allow villagers to gather food and materials from the wilderness. You can assign a worker. So what about the gatherer's hut then? Okay, so this is actually just an improvement on the gatherer's pit. So we're heading the right way by making this, which is good. But there is a bit of a problem here. It says open this villager menu and see what the problem is. Okay, so they're basically saying they can't find any of these types of materials. So it's saying consider adding another food foraging marker. Now let's go to the actual gatherer's pit itself and open up this pit menu and see if we can figure this one out. Incidentally, I just noticed you can actually upgrade stuff here. So we could have actually just upgraded this instead of building a whole new one. But that's just me being newbie and learning the game. But hey, I've made that mistake, so you guys don't have to, I suppose. Okay, so we do have this menu here with tasks. And I think what we should do is maybe put berries as high, because I think there are berries in the area, so that'll maybe help. And then the other stuff, if they find it, then great. And if they don't, it's not as big a deal. And then we have this right here, which is the actual marker. So if we press E, it shows the radius. Okay, so I guess everything inside the purple is in the radius. Okay, that's interesting. And let's see, can we maybe move this marker even? Well, if we press T, we can open this up. So we could potentially dismantle it and then build it somewhere else. And let's try doing that together. Why not? So let's dismantle this, hit dismantle. There we go. Okay, so now we just have a load of materials on the floor here, which hopefully is the stuff that we're going to be able to use to rebuild. So if I press B and go to markers, then we have here the food foraging marker. I guess that's the one. We want to build one of those. And we could run out into the wilderness a little bit and place that down. That way, they will be able to start collecting stuff in a brand new area, one that hopefully will yield a lot better results. And interestingly enough, it wasn't just the forager that was having problems with this. Our woodcutter was mentioning it as well. So this is probably a pretty good idea. So for now, I think I'll just put it down kind of in the forest here, and we'll see if this works. So let's supply all of the stuff and build that up. And then hopefully that's going to work, at least for the short term, and then perhaps we'll have to move it again. But right now we've got this purple radius over here that should be all new territory for them to explore. Now, here is our woodcutting person. So if we press E here, the problem that he's having is he can't find any thatch. So once again, what I think I'll do is we'll just open up the menu here for this, and we'll dismantle this marker. There we go, we'll pick up all the stuff. And then I'll go and move that somewhere else as well that's going to be near thatch. Now, I believe for thatch, if we open up our map and we head this way towards the ocean, that is where we find more thatch. I'm pretty sure that's true. So I'm going to head off that way, and when I know I'm in an area that has a lot of thatch, that's probably a good place to put that marker, at least until he's kind of satisfied with that, and then perhaps we'll move it again. Okay, so we do have some reeds down here, and they do give thatch, but I'm not seeing like tons of them, so I don't know if this is going to be enough. It'll probably be enough at least just in the short term though, so for now I think we'll go ahead and build the wood marker somewhere near here. Maybe up in here a bit, so he's got this woods as well to work on, but the thatch will be within that radius. And it's just a bit of trial and error, I suppose. We'll see how we go. But it's kind of cool that you can do this and move this around. I like that as a feature in the game, where you can basically tell your people where they need to do the harvesting. And that way, if you want to keep an area wooded, or if you want to clear an area, it's much easier to do so, of course. Now, at this stage, our settlement is really coming along quite nicely. As you can see here, I've built some shelters around a fireplace that we've actually upgraded. The reason for that is because when it was raining, the wood goes out and the fire goes out. Although the rain is useful for the rain collector here, which the villagers can drink from, but I even went as far as to build them up a well. So we're getting some fundamentals here down, and obviously we're expanding our population. We still have a couple of empty beds though, and so we're going to want to get some new people in. And we basically got like a few different options. So we have the basic stone cutter's pit, and we have the wood cutter's pit, and we can upgrade those into huts. So this was the mistake I made before. You can actually just upgrade these huts, which is really nice actually. I'm glad that's a feature, rather than having to build a new one from scratch. So upgrading them would be good, but it'd be kind of just a better version of the same thing we already have. So I was thinking it's probably a good idea to look at building a couple of new things and try out a few different things in this game, because there is a lot more available for us to do. So for example, I was looking at farming. I think that could be really cool. But also this one right here, a barracks, right? So that we can start to get a militia, and they can help to defend our town, which probably is pretty important, right? It seems like it would be. So I'm going to start with the barracks, and then we'll do the farm afterwards. Now, in terms of where I'm going to place this, I hadn't really thought too much, but I thought, over here somewhere would be good, but I don't know exactly where. So maybe like here, that's fine. The reason I thought there was good is because it protects people around here. So at night time when everyone's asleep, the militia can be in here protecting people. Now, as someone who is new to the game, I'm not 100% sure if this is the best idea, but I guess we'll find that out together. So I'll build this up off camera, and once it's built, we'll have a look at employing somebody to actually come and live here, or work here, I should say, and then we'll see it in action. One thing that's really nice as I'm progressing through this game is I'm noticing, so for example, right now we're building this barracks and we have to get all of these resources, right? Well, if we come to the storage of different places, then the storage is holding all the materials that we need for a lot of this stuff. So if we set this up right, I think we can pretty much get things like automated, where we just go around and collect resources eventually to build up our town more and more. So in the beginning, it's kind of there's a lot of work to do in order to get your town started. But after that, once you get the right sort of fundamentals set up, a lot of this stuff is done for you, so that's really, really nice. So like here, for example, there's be a long stip. We'll grab that one and we'll run it over. And our town is very quickly starting to take shape. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this playthrough so far, and it's something that I will potentially revisit. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments, guys. Let me know if you're enjoying this, if you'd like to see more of this, and if you ever have ideas on future episodes or things you'd like to see. Yeah, I always welcome that feedback, so please do let me know down in the comments. All right, here we go, guys. The barracks has now been completed, and if we press R, then we can manage the workers in here. Now, I've got a feeling we might be able to assign multiple people. So Annalise is our newest person in the town, so we're going to assign her because she doesn't have any other job at the moment anyway. But I'm wondering with Jensen, he is in the workshop pit. If we assign him... No, okay, he would have to leave the workshop pit. Okay, so we do need to find people who, don't have other jobs to assign in here. This is interesting as well. Let's go to here. So this is their weapon loadout, and they can be all these different weapons. That's really cool, actually. So we'll probably get into more of that stuff a bit later on, the subtle nuances of it, and that might be one for another video. But today, at least, we've started up our defenses, which is pretty good, because the combat in this game, from what I've seen later on in the game, it does get pretty difficult. So it's good that we're, doing something about that. Now, farming would be really useful as well, of course. I think farming, we could either farm food, of course, to feed our people, or we could farm flax. And flax is really useful because we use it every time we make up rope, and it seems like every recipe needs quite a lot of rope, so we might do something like that. The big question is where we can actually make this farm in the first place, though. So let's just select it for now and hit build and just see. Okay, it looks quite small. I wonder, it might need some space around it, though, in order to sort of, make the farm up. So for now, I'm just going to place it here. It's going to be a little bit of a test, and we'll see what happens. And as always, I'll do this leveling and the building of the farm off camera, and then we'll see the interesting stuff together once that's done. Figure out how it works, and hopefully get it up and running. All right, here we go, guys. The little farm building has been built, and if we open up the farm menu, I'm seeing this thing right here, farm crops. So I guess we need to build one of those. Ah, okay, so this is like we make the farm ourselves. Okay, that's actually really awesome then. So maybe we'll put it like just out the front of the farm here. I'm guessing if we just kind of see, like, left click there, and we just drag it like this. Yeah, okay, that's good, but that was really poor placement on my part. So let's place it more like this. Yeah, here we go. Now we can make an actual little farm. This is so cool. So, yeah, I guess that tree's going to be in the way a little bit. Maybe we'll start off small anyway. In fact, that might be as big as we can make it. That might be it right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and confirm that. And then, let's see, what do we need to do here now? We're going to have to supply things to it. What is the recipe for that? Rope and sticks need to be supplied. I guess we also will need to level it, but maybe the rope and sticks come first. Okie dokie. Well, let's go ahead and supply that stuff, and then we'll get the actual farming happening. And we'll try and find someone to actually farm it, of course. Alright, so we've got the material supplied, but as you can see here, it says it needs tilling, and we actually need to make up a rake, so that's kind of cool. We're going to make up a new tool now, and I'm hoping that that can be made at the workshop over here, because it can't be made in the quick crafting menu that we get down at the bottom. So let's have a look. If we go into here and hit craft, is there a rake? Yeah, this one right here. Okay, cool. So it needs a bit of rope, a bit of sticks, which we have. Let's go ahead and make that up. Again, the really nice thing about this is we literally just come over here to the woodcutter's hut. We need to grab up a load of sticks, so we open up the storage and we just click them out. So 3, 4, 5, 6, that's all we need. And so, yeah, like you kind of get exponentially more progress and do things exponentially faster as you're going through the game, it seems. So let's see, hit that rake and hit craft on that one. Very good. And now we should have the tool needed to till the dirt over here. And I'm not sure how much else we'll need to do after that. So we'll just have to kind of find that out together. So let's see, if I go ahead and till this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's kind of like when you hoe, it's a similar sort of process. We just need to till this whole farm, and then I guess we're done. So here we have our nicely tilled field, and the next thing we need to do now is get some seeds and plant something in there. So this is where we need to decide what that's going to be. And also, we can look at, let's see, our gatherer's hut over here. So the storage for this is where we might find some seeds. And here we go, we got some flax seeds here. Now, flax is kind of the thing I thought I would plant to start us off, so let's take those over and get them planted. All right, so it says we've got to equip these seeds. So let's see, if I put them down on my hotbar, and then we press number 7, there we go, they are now equipped, and let's see if we can plant them down. So it looks like it needs 4 seeds per one sort of bit of farm. Okay, that's cool. And then at this point as well, it is saying there's no compost in the inventory, so that might be a bit of an issue, I'm not sure. It says daily water intake is met. So if we're going to need to water these, I've got a feeling that building a little rain collector nearby would be a good idea. So I might try and do that now and see if we can get that built while it is raining, of course, right? And then it would actually start to fill up. So let's do that. We just need to level this area, build that one up. And that will then supply water for this farm. Now, Annalise just came and helped me out here. We had a blood moon rising, and so when you get that, it means there's more mobs that are going to come and fight you. So, as you can see, there's some mobs over here, and I was just sort of dealing with that, but Annalise came and helped. So this is awesome. This shows that the militia, because that's our only militia right now, Annalise in the barracks, there we go. She comes over and helps us when we're fighting different mobs, protecting our town. So, yeah, obviously, the more that we employ, the more people we employ to do that, then the better protected we'll be. And I assume, that as you... Oh, there we go, Blood Moon phase. So we managed to survive that one. Wasn't too bad. But I was going to say, I assume that as we progress through the game, these will get more and more difficult, and we'll have to build up more and more defenses. So that's the nice sort of challenge element to this. Obviously, you need to survive and provide your citizens with water and food and stuff like that. But you also have this physical element to it where you have to be able to fight off the invaders and such. Now, what happened here? Oh, okay, we need to repair this. Interesting. So we actually have to get some materials for those repairs. Okay, that's kind of cool. I did manage to build the rain collector. It looks like it has filled up a bit. It's kind of hard to see because it's nighttime right now. But yeah, things are definitely starting to take shape. I think for the compost, I'm not sure if we need that or if it just means that it'll be a better harvest if we have it, but I'm not sure if we're at a stage where we're able to do that anyway. All right, so our new villager has joined the town. If we go into here, let's see, let's assign you into here. So now the farm should be being worked. So it's saying about there's no compost, but the daily water is met, so I'm hoping that's just going to be okay. I guess we'll just kind of wait. I mean, it does say there that it's grown 16%, so I think we're doing okay. Again, I reckon it's just a case of, like, if we had the compost, maybe we'd get a bit more output. Now, you can see here I'm building something as well. This is a raven altar, and I believe this is going to allow us to fly. Now, as crazy as that sounds, from what I've seen of this game and from what the description was there, I think that is the case. So let me go ahead and finish making this, and hopefully the next thing you guys will see is me flying over this town. Okay, so now if I go into this raven altar, it looks like we can craft up this thing, and I guess this is what will allow us to fly, potentially. So let's see here. We just crafted up a raven potion. Here it is. Let's put that in, say, number 4. And if I hit number 4, oh, look at this. I am now a raven. Okay, this is pretty cool. So we just use WAS to go around. Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. We can actually fly around the island now. So obviously at this point, we're able to, you know, traverse the island so much quicker. Oh, if I hold shift, I even sprint. That's so cool. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do this. Oh no. Okay, I survived. Oh, all right. Yeah, I guess that's a single use thing. I just right clicked because I wasn't sure what I was doing and I fell. So do be careful if you're flying around that you don't, you know, fall from too high. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing. A reminder that it is currently 40% off. A link to that in the description if you would like to get this game for yourselves and play it. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.